WXII 12 News. This is special coverage of the coronavirus impact.
I want to make sure you know that the hard work you've been doing has meant that North Carolina is in a very good place. We have flattened the curve, but we're not there quite yet.
First at 5, breaking news. North Carolina's stay-at-home order has been extended to May 8th. Governor Roy Cooper made the announcement this afternoon, saying we are starting to flatten the curve, but he hasn't seen enough of a downward trend to warrant reopening under the recommendations given by President Donald Trump in the White House. In less than a month, 254 people have died from the virus in our state. That is up 10 from yesterday. 32 of these people lived in the Triad. The governor and health leaders say staying at home is, however, flattening the curve, and he has steps to get North Carolinians back to work. Our Leanne Dinier is working from home. She joins us now. Leanne, to explain these 3 steps.
Well, before we dive into those 3 steps, there's something you need to know first. So the governor and Dr. Mandy Cohen say they're using a series of benchmarks to decide which parts of the state open and when. Those benchmarks have to do with identified COVID cases, the number of people working in contact tracing, and personal protective equipment levels. So as a series of goals are met, the governor says he'll roll out reopening in 3 phases. So when we reach phase 1, this is what it will look like. The goal of phase 1 essentially is to give folks more reasons to leave their home. Phase 1 includes the opening of more businesses, including retail, but it does require businesses to continue practicing social distancing and to check employees for COVID symptoms. The stay-at-home order does remain in effect during phase 1. So the plan is that we'd stay in phase 1 for, say, 2 to 3 weeks. The state would then reevaluate, check those benchmarks that I mentioned at the top, and then decide if we're ready to move into phase 2. Phase 2. This is where the stay-at-home order would be lifted. The governor says that the state would still encourage vulnerable folks to stay home, but in this phase, that's where houses of worship and restaurants would be able to open back up at a reduced capacity. The governor says we'd sit there in phase 2 for another 4 to 6 weeks. They would reevaluate the benchmarks again and then decide if we're ready to move into phase 3. Phase 3, that's where we see houses of worship, bars, restaurants, and other entertainment venues increasing their capacity. This is also where the number of people allowed to get together would increase.
North Carolinians have done a pretty good job in abiding by the orders and really trying on their social distancing. I think we're one of the best states in the country for particularly the population that we have with the success that we have had.
Well, I think it's really important to note, though, this new stay-at-home order, that's in place until May 8th. That does not mean that we automatically go into phase 1 on May 9th. The governor says that him and his team are going to get together as we get closer to that new expiration date, and then they'll decide. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind as we're starting to process all this new information today. Again, new stay-at-home order in place until May 8th. And then we have this 3-part plan as we start to hit these benchmarks over the next few weeks. Brianna?
All right, Leanne, thank you for breaking that down for us. Governor Cooper also says he's going to talk about plans for the rest of the school year tomorrow. Right now, schools are closed through May 15th under the current executive order. Well, today, North Carolina had its second biggest day-to-day increase in coronavirus cases. In total, 7,600 people have tested positive since March 3rd. Roughly 10% of those cases are in the Triad. Here's a closer look at those cases over time now. In the last 9 days, there have been more than 200 new cases in the Triad. Many people are beating this virus. 255 people have recovered in 5 counties that we know of: Alamance, Davidson, Davie-Forsyth, and Rockingham counties. That means at least about a third of the people who have tested positive in these areas have recovered. Not all counties are reporting recoveries. Greensboro's Fun 4th Festival will not happen this year. Organizers made the announcement this morning. It would have been the weekend of July 4th, but Mayor Nancy Vaughn says the health and well-being of the community comes first. The city says it's working hard to find a place for a fireworks display where people can social distance while celebrating Independence Day. The city also wants to eventually hold a reopening festival. A nursing home in Guilford County is currently dealing with an outbreak of COVID-19. 20 residents and 12 staff members at Collapse Nursing Center in Pleasant Garden have this virus. A spokesperson for that facility says a resident tested positive on Friday. The center has tested all 99 residents and more than 60 staff members. That occurred during a 2-day period. Officials say most people who have the coronavirus aren't showing any symptoms. The state is also reporting outbreaks at one other nursing home in Guilford County and a residential care facility there as well. They're also at nursing homes in Davidson and Stokes counties. More than 2,000 cases across North Carolina are tied to outbreaks at congregate living facilities. The U.S. Department of Labor is reporting more than 4 million people applied for unemployment benefits last week. That means more than 26 million people in total have applied since the coronavirus forced states to shut down. Over the last 4 weeks, the labor force lost more than 22 million jobs, and that basically erases all the jobs gained since the Great Recession. Well, sports and NASCAR fans are anxious about a potential reopening date. It hasn't been set for some local tracks. Everyone's missing sports right now, especially the athletes. Our Kenny Beck had the chance to speak with a local NASCAR driver today. He joins us live from home. Kenny, what's the top of their mind?
Well, Brianna, good evening to you. I caught up with Clint Bowyer today. He lives in Moxville, drives the number 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. He's a funny guy, big personality, had a lot to say about a lot of things. And as I quickly found out, like many of us, he's had a lot of time on his hands these last few weeks.
I was telling my wife, she's like, what is wrong with you? So I'll tell you what's wrong with me. For 17 years of my life, 2 weeks is about as long as I've ever been at home at one span, even over the holidays. Everybody always says time's the most valuable thing. Right now, I got plenty of time. I want to go do something fun.
How is homeschooling going?
Oh my gosh. The same for everybody. It makes you feel really dumb, as a matter of fact. Trying to help your 5-year-old, just trying to navigate through that. It makes you appreciate a teacher. I can promise you that.
Not that he hasn't enjoyed his time at home, but Clint Bowyer is more than ready to get back to racing.
Complete this sentence. The next NASCAR points race in the Cup Series will be when?
Go ahead and put me on the spot, huh, Kenny? Man, it's sounding like, there's a great possibility that we could get going maybe that week before, the 600 weekend. They're trying. I think it's that weekend of like the 17th. Obviously, we're probably going to have to do this without fans, which is going to suck. There's no question about it. It's going to be very, very awkward. It's going to be difficult. Yes, you're racing in front of an audience. They'll be on their couch, but it's just not the same.
Bowyer also weighed in on Kyle Larson's future. The 2014 Rookie of the Year and last season's All-Star race winner was fired earlier this month after he used a racial slur during a live-streamed virtual race.
It's just unfortunate for our whole sport, our whole industry. It's devastating for all of us. I've never seen anything like that in our sport, and certainly there's no room for that. But does he get another chance? Everybody gets another chance in this life and in this country. That's why we're in the USA, and that's why we're proud to be in the USA.
With the season paused after just 4 races, Bowyer sits 13th in points with 1 top 5 finish. He says he misses the sights, smells, sounds, and fans in NASCAR, but he also appreciates this break and the newfound perspective on life.
My main man, Cash, here, he came with me to the office today. Been chasing this little rowdy guy around and his sister. Trying to keep them entertained is the toughest thing, You feel so bad for him. My wife thinks that my attention span is probably shorter than his, but that being said, it's tough to keep us planted, We have a farm over in Moxville, and
he's trying to build a new fence.
We've been building. That's how bored we are. We've been building fence. We've been fishing. We have caught every fish in every pond on my farm.
And I caught a big crappie.
Caught a big crappie. We've done it all, man.
Spoken like a true father. Now, there's a lot of discussion going on in professional sports right now about exactly how long it would take to go from where we are right now, full stop, no one doing anything, to competing at the highest level again. I asked Clint about this. NASCAR, a little bit different, not like pitchers and catchers in baseball or power forwards or left tackles in basketball in the NBA. He told me, tell me where the racetrack is. I will be there tonight if I could. Brianna?